Can we go out and play?
Oh my God. We're at a really rad spot in southern Utah. And where have you brought us today, man?
I have brought you to Swing Arm City down in southern Utah. This is one of the best spots in the world to drive UTVs like this Can-Am Maverick X3. This is part of a series of showing everybody really cool places to take UTVs to play. So this is my guide to some of my favorite UTV spots in the world. This place is amazing because it's got a lot of transitions. There's all sorts of these banked hills, there's huge jumps, and it's a really fun place to adventure around and try and see different possibilities of how to link different transitions to make jumps, to make tracks, to carve up on the hills. And the surface itself isn't sand, it's like silt. So when it rains, it kind of binds together, but if it's been really dry and been ridden on a lot, it rides like a fun, silty, but grippy surface. It really is one of the funnest places to come ride because of all these factors together. The state of Utah set up this area as a designated off-road area. So you can ride all over anything and everything. If you can ride up that wall, you can do it. And right outside of it is some beautiful state parks. Capitol Reef is about 30-40 minutes that way. Moab is not far away either, and there's Arches National Monument and Canyonlands. So there's amazing state parks right here. In the motor world, it's actually called Caneville. So Nitro Circus has been coming here forever because Greg Godfrey is from the Salt Lake area. He was coming down and adventuring a lot of these areas. So he brought out the Nitro guys, Travis Pastrana, and they did some huge jumps and a lot of different obstacles here. They're the ones that actually really made this area famous. Eventually, I came down with Jim Mangan and did a very fun project called Blast, which was very fun, artsy version of that. And this was one of 3 areas we came down to do that project. And since then, I've been coming down with the family. And then eventually we did the Terra project here, which is where we brought the Ford Fiesta, the RX-43, in the livery that was still from Gymkhana 8. And I carved up, the backside of this is what we call knife's edge. We did many big jumps, lots of carving around on other different obstacles. And even at one part of it, we focused in, set up a long lens camera to where we could bring in the Factory Butte, which is a big landmark out here in this area, and really pulled that in to be a part of this beautiful picture too. It's got a great history, and it's got such a great history because it really is one of the best off-road places in the world. So a little reference for distance. This is in southern Utah, so for me to come down from Park City, it's about 250 miles. Coming from somewhere east of here, Colorado Springs, it's about 450 miles. And if you're coming all the way from Los Angeles, it's about 626 miles. And if you're coming from up north, Portland, Oregon, that area, about 1,000 miles. And if you're coming all the way from somewhere like, let's say, Mexico City, it's 2,938 miles. When you come here, there's several different ways to stay. There's no campsites here with hookups and all that, but there's hotels back in Hanksville, and there's some over at Capitol Reef. So there's several hotels that are within 20 minutes to about 30 to 40 minutes away. There's also houses to rent over in Capitol Reef. So as far as primitive camping goes, you can come out here and stay in a tent with a cooler, or you can stay in a giant motorhome. My favorite way to come down here and stay is in a toy hauler. So Grand Design Momentum M-Class is what we're staying in. And the reason why it's called a toy hauler is that it has a back area with a ramp that folds down. The entire back folds down, and you can drive all sorts of vehicles up into it. So the back is like a giant garage. It's got a really nice full-size kitchen area. On top of that, it has a nice master bedroom with a bathroom that my wife and I stay in. Well, I really want to get to riding, but this wouldn't be a UTV guide if we didn't point out these brand new Can-Ams that I have to play with. So right here, sitting here, two brand new Can-Am Maverick X3x Rss. These things are really nicely equipped, and I'm gonna let Forrest give you more of those details, but there's some very simple things that work for me, such as this very nice handbrake, a Hoonigan design. We have a rigid light system on it, you know, very basic, small, very dirty now because it's windy out here. Windshield. So there's a lot of very nice carbon fiber on this thing, thanks to agency power. Beautiful, look at that weave. All right, Forrest, well, I need you to go through all the other details. You know it better than me.
All right, well, first I think we should start at the front of these units. So as we go to the front, they went to S3 in Shreveport, Louisiana. So we've got all these S3 tubular arms, S3 bumper. As we go up, you can see the S3 cage. Something I'll note from back here as well, love the 4-seat S3 cage in that roofline. That's actually brand new from those guys. A little different from the older original cage you see there. Oh, hi, kid. Something else I'd like to point out on the front is this beautiful agency power carbon hood. We pretty much got every agency power part available. So the doors.
I like carbon fiber, so it's very nice that they supplied everything. Even these doors with like very nice latches from.
That's actually a Zollinger Racing Products latch. Those guys are out of Logan, Utah. Yep. So we did actually use some locals on this, but this is all carbon from agency power. And I also like too that the graphics are sort of overlaid, so you do see the carbon weave.
Yeah, so the graphics actually come from my 2019 livery by Troy Lee. We just wanted to use a part of it, so we used the stars, and the stars just sit over nicely and become part of the livery, but we let some of the carbon fiber out from underneath that. By the way, I really like these mirrors too.
Yeah, so these mirrors are actually new from Can-Am, more of like an automotive style mirror, so we like those a lot. The reason why we have mirrors is these are street legal. So there's
turn signal,
and if I can,
and a horn.
I'm just gonna do this really quick. So I'm gonna power it. Ready? So horn works, but something I like a lot is that this turn signal actually will flash through the stock running light and reflector, and it's the same with the tail light, so there's no aftermarket lights, external lights added to make that work, so really clean. More S3 goodies. These are the S3 rock sliders on the two-seater. Interior, you can see we've got a Can-Am gear bag over there. That's really nice, not always easy to store stuff. More carbon on the dash, so much carbon. We've got a fire extinguisher down here, so we mounted the fire extinguisher just forward of the front seat here on the two-seater, and it's in the back on the 4-seater. As we continue back, this is some more stuff right out of the Can-Am accessory catalog. So the stock body flare is here. This is the extended flare. It is on the rear, and then as you look over, you can see it is on the front of both the 2 and the 4-seater. Nice suspension bits. So Double E Racing, they supply us with an upgraded adjustable rear sway bar and drop link. That's actually really nice to have, especially on stuff that Ken drives. A bit of a stiffer rear means a bit more oversteer.
I like oversteer.
So that's good to have. More S3 on the back. And this is the same on the 2 and the 4-seater. So these are all S3 Power Sports radius rods, pull plate here on the 2-seater. So this actually has the Evo Stage 3 WRI tune, which is a tune that also adds injectors and an aftermarket wastegate. To go along with that tune, kind of hard to see, but agency's also given us a boost pipe, a charge pipe, along with a blow-off valve. Try to get a shot here. This is a Zollinger Racing Products rear double shear knuckle, so it really improves the mounting point for these radius rods. That's billet, that comes straight out of Logan, Utah, and that's actually straight out of the machine shop with that finish, so those are incredible. Trophy truck quality on a Can-Am. And here on the 4-seater, really a lot of the same stuff.
All right, well, now that we're done with all the details, these are absolutely beautiful builds, but I'm tired of talking about them. Can we go out and play? Can we finally go out and play?
Let's go rip, man.
All right, well, gonna be driving the 2-seater all day today. The 4-seater's gonna stay back, maybe be a production vehicle today, but let's go rip this thing around. I also think we should talk a little bit about one of the specialties here, which is going up and driving on some of the banks. A lot of people don't know kind of the steps of how to do that, so I think we should talk that through and show everybody how to do it. Let's go rip.
Let's do it. top of one of these sand piles here at Swing Arm City. We actually just ran into local dirt biker Andrew Carter. He's hitting a really well-known jump where you come sort of along this ridge line and then just drop into the abyss. I'm up here getting ready to drop a couple GoPros, and we're gonna see if we can actually get Andrew to jump over Ken. This is ridiculous because literally the campsite is right there, and you're just starting to rip, man. This is amazing.
I gotta say, that area right there and that bowl over there, it's one of the funnest playgrounds in the entire world. Like, I could do this for hours and hours and hours. But next step, I want to go over here. Like, I have a fun kind of track layout over there with turns and jumps, and it makes for just like, you know, repeating like a track over and over. You figure out how fast to go over certain obstacles and certain jumps and certain turns. So I love the freestyle element of all that sort of thing, but it's also fun to do like a supercross track with bowl turns and jumps over here. So let's go do that next.
That was cool, man. Watching this thing jump, unreal. It's like a rally car. What's next?
It can jump way bigger than a rally car, actually. So this is what we call knife's edge. I think that name was dubbed by Brian Cotta when he came out here and scouted for Terra. But it's a really nice big bank. I think the angle's about 45 degrees, so it's really quite steep. So I have a lot of experience with this sort of thing. So we want to show how you do this and how you do it smartly. And it's really basic. You really need to stay on power. You need momentum, you need speed, and you need to start off taking baby steps. You need to start low and then build your way up. The worst thing to do is get caught up on a steep transition without enough speed to turn and come down. That little simple trick, the right momentum, the right amount of speed, will just save you in a lot of situations. It's getting up there and not having enough speed, being pointed the wrong direction, and not being able to turn and come down. That's where people get in trouble. So right here, right now, we're going to show you some basic steps: carrying momentum, keeping speed, starting low, working your way up. The goal is build our way up, try and get near the top, but make sure that I've got enough momentum to get a turn and be safe. One thing that's important on this Can-Am Maverick X3 is the fact that it's all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, so you can toggle between the modes. So in this sort of thing, it's fun to do it in rear-wheel drive if you can really carry the momentum. I can actually slide the thing up there if I wanted to, but I'm going to do this in all-wheel drive. It's just safer, it's more consistent. I'm also a little worried with some of the roughness up there, so I know if I'm in all-wheel drive, I can get the thing to turn to pull me through the corner. All-wheel drive, safer, rear wheel drive if you want to maybe just play around lower and get the thing to slide through, and maybe I'll show that once or twice too. But all wheel drive is just going to be safer, give you more grip, and be quicker.
So just smooth throttle. Big thing to keep in mind is not getting scared at the top. A lot of times people get to the apex or the middle point right here and then they lift, and that's where you have a lot of problems.
All right, rear wheel drive.
All right, let's see it. Rear wheel drive in that case is you add throttle, you get wheel spin in the rear, it starts to actually do what we call throttle steer to aim the nose. Again, the big thing to keep in mind is that you're not lifting.
How'd the rear wheel drive look?
Look beautiful, man. Yeah, it looks so good.
Well, the simple thing with that is you can just easily control the oversteer, get some fun power through it. But to go higher, it definitely feels a lot more stable and safe in all-wheel drive.
Yeah, so Ken's setting high mark currently, very top. Oh my God, boss. All right, we get it. That's a high mark. Nice job.
Right, but see, I'm carrying momentum, so I'm able to turn and totally control up there. No issues. The all-wheel drive system driving me through it. If I were to go slower than that and go that high, it'd be dangerous. But as long as I can carry that momentum, so I started low, learned the angle, keep carrying momentum, carry more speed. Now I'm at the top. Start at the bottom. Now we're here. Hope everybody enjoyed this little tour guide. If you have any comments of more information you'd like to know about these places, comment below. If you have any good spots you think we should go to. I know a ton in Utah, but I want to venture out to Colorado and Wyoming and Montana and Arizona. So comment below about other spots you know of. And yeah, next stop, Sand Hollow. So stay tuned, subscribe, follow, and you'll be able to see the next stops.